But if you think that there is no God, or if you hold the view of religion that is taught in every religious studies department in every secular university in the United States of America today, that is the view that all religion is simply human imagination, it's simply made-up ideas that people have thought up in their own creativity, and that's all theology is, and that's all religion is, then you're not going to seek joy in a God that you think might not exist or you can't ever know. You're going to seek joy instead, perhaps in alcohol or drugs or sex or money or power or fame. And you're going to think that right and wrong are just human ideas, merely human inventions. And you're going to think that nobody can know right and wrong for sure. And you know what else? You're going to think that Christians who talk about right and wrong are just arrogantly trying to impose their own imagined ideas on everybody else. Theology changes life. Good theology leads to good decisions. And bad theology leads in an entirely opposite direction. Let me give you two more examples from world history. First, take the advent of communism. If you think, as Karl Marx did, that there is no God, and religion is the opiate of the people, and the whole history of mankind is the struggle of workers against their bourgeois oppressors, and if you think that happiness to mankind will only come in the abolition of all private property and the abolition of religion and the abolition of family, as Karl Marx believed, then you will set up a movement that seeks to destroy economies and nations and establish communist rule in Russia and China and Cuba and North Korea, and you'll subject those nations to decades of totalitarian oppression. Bad theology. But if, on the other hand, if you believe that God exists and that He has created all people in His image, and if you begin to reason from principles learned from the Bible, and then you come to be convinced that equality and human freedom are actually gifts from God, then you will establish a new nation with a Declaration of Independence proclaiming that people are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And you will believe, reasoning from the Bible, that to secure these rights, not to give these rights, but to secure these rights that have been already given by God, to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. Note the passive, are instituted among men, hinting at God's hand behind it. Deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. If you believe that, then you will be willing to risk your lives, your fortunes, and your sacred honor. And you will be willing to declare at the end of that Declaration of Independence your firm reliance on the protection of the divine providence. And you will boldly set up a democratic republic for the purpose, as they said, to secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. And in subsequent years, you will work and pray that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. One theological view leads to communism. The other leads to establishing countries like the United States of America. Theology changes life. Or think about Islamic jihadism. If you have a theology that says there is a God who wants to make everyone submit to Him by the power of the sword and the gun, and that this God will reward you in the next life for massive acts of murder against innocent civilians, then you'll seek to advance such a kingdom and such a religion by violent conquest and terrorist activities. But if, by contrast, you believe that there is a God who gave us the Bible, and through that Bible He continually appeals to people to make a voluntary choice to trust Him. If you believe, according to the Bible, that genuine religious faith cannot be compelled by the sword, then you will agree with Joshua, who appealed to the people of Israel. Choose you this day whom you will serve. You will agree with Jesus, who invited people, come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. You will agree with the process of Paul, the apostle, who went from city to city discussing and reasoning and arguing with people in the synagogues and in the marketplaces, appealing to them, believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and you will be saved. If that's your theology, then you won't seek to impose your religion by the sword, but you will seek to defend true freedom of religion in every country, and you will never want the government to try to compel people to follow Christ or any other religion, because genuine faith cannot be compelled. Theology changes life, and it changes history. Now, those are 4 examples from evolution, from where do you seek joy, from communism versus a democratic republic, and from Islamic jihadism versus appealing to people's voluntary decisions. I could give thousands of others. Theology changes life. Over 100 years ago, a respected historian in England named Henry Wace, principal of King's College in London, said this: "The history of the world would appear to be in great measure a history of the manner in which religious ideas, often of an apparently abstract and subtle character, can determine the future of whole races and vast regions of the earth." Why is theology important? Because it changes life. It changes individual lives. And it changes the history of nations. And so God spoke through Hosea, telling the people that their bad theology, taught by bad priests that had gone to a bad seminary, telling them that their nation was ruined because of this theology. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Now, the question for us this morning, is that going to be true of our lives and our churches and our nation? Is there any alternative to "my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge"? I believe the alternative is what I've given my life to, and what my faculty colleagues at Phoenix Seminary are giving their lives to, that is, teaching true knowledge of God to those who will teach others.